A lot of subscribers to this channel post some really good comments after nearly every video. If you're new here, you should go in and check them out sometime. They really seem to get what I'm pushing here, and I appreciate every single one of them. In my last video, one of the subscribers posted a comment that made me laugh out loud because it was about how the Trump haters are always saying, "This time we've got him." And then they whine about another abysmal failure when they don't got him. So it gave me the idea to read off the actual definition of Trump Derangement Syndrome, otherwise known as TDS, and how this affliction is harming millions of people, not just here in the United States, but apparently around the world. So stick around if you want to learn what this dreaded mental disease is all about. We're going to get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we are the antidote to the daily onslaught of radical woke Marxist propaganda. This was written by Charles Hurt back in January of 2016. Many of you know Charles as being a Fox News contributor, but he's also the opinion editor for the Washington Times. Now I'm just going to read the piece and try my best not to crack up and keep moving on. And let me just say this before I begin, for those of you who are worried. You don't have to concern yourself with catching this dreaded disease. Many psychologists and psychiatrists have collaborated on studies that just hearing about Trump Derangement Syndrome is not enough to actually give you the disease. You have to actually be a leftist who hates Trump so much, so badly, that you see Satan-colored unicorns whenever his name comes up, or you see an image of the former president. The piece is called "No Cure in Sight for Donald Trump Derangement Syndrome, Sweeping Elite" by Charles Hurt, January 27, 2016. Beware the latest nasty virus sweeping the East Coast, particularly the most elite citadels of New York City and Washington, D.C. By now it's spread all over the world, as you know. It is a fast-moving disease, highly contagious, and attacks the nervous system. Early stages are inexplicable: fast eye blinking, light palsy, stammering, and overbearing snobbery. Sometimes redness of the face and shortness of breath accompany. Later stages include total disillusionment, dementia, inability to think clearly, and ultimately a madness that cannot be contained. Basic rule of thumb is that if you are blinking and twitching like Chief Inspector Charles Dreyfus, Inspector Jacques Clouseau's boss in Pink Panther, then it is still early and there is still hope. In final stages, patients are often found wild-eyed, naked, frothing at the mouth and writhing on the floor. This behavior has been likened to that of Antonio Salieri in the final scenes of Amadeus. Researchers have yet to arrive at a scientific name for the debilitating disease, but it is generally referred to as Donald Trump Derangement Syndrome, DTDS. It has since been shortened to TDS. It is found in its most virulent and highly contagious strain among media and punditry circles and top ranks of Republican Party leaders. While researchers are still confounded about almost everything about TDS, they do believe that early detection could be vital. Here are symptoms and remedies they recommend. The disease-stricken often say things like, "He is Hitler!" It is best to calmly explain to the person that Adolf Hitler exterminated 6 million Jews. Mr. Trump has not. Also, advise the patient to read Mein Kampf and then read Art of the Deal. Some victims, it is found, take the extermination of 6 million Jews more seriously and instead compare Mr. Trump to Mussolini, kind of a Hitler light. Sometimes in their hallucinations, people suffering from TDS see a similarity in the ways both men purse their lips and speak. Best remedy is to explain that Benito Mussolini was Hitler's stooge, and to date, it is safe to say Donald Trump has never been anyone's stooge. Another symptom has people going into hysterics over how vulgar Donald Trump is and talking about how he lacks the virtue and morals to be president. Recommended remedy is to explain to the victim how Lyndon Baines Johnson used to force reporters and staffers to join him in the bathroom to conduct business while he took care of his own business right in front of them. Or have them read the memoir detailing how John F. Kennedy took the virginity of a teenage intern within minutes of meeting her while she was touring the White House. It is advised not to get into the known exploits of Bill Clinton because, well, it is just so disgusting that it could trigger other complicated illnesses, such as vomiting. A startling recent sin has one member of Congress demanding to know whether Donald Trump has repented for past sins. The best remedy for this is to remind members of Congress that they are not preachers, and ordering people into the confessional booth is both very creepy and unconstitutional, and totally violates the separation of church and state in America. Some victims of TDS are found agonizing about how Donald Trump threatens to destroy the Constitution. It is best to advise these people that Donald Trump is the most litigious person to ever run for president, and that the very foundation of litigiousness is in the Constitution. He probably reveres the Constitution more highly than anybody suffering from TDS. Sadly, researchers do not have the slightest hope of a cure for those in advanced stages of the disease. The only known Hail Mary prescriptions have been to either send them to Syria as TDS refugees or allow them to sneak across the border before the Trump wall and casino is built. Scientists, meanwhile, are hurriedly developing an 8-year slow-release Ambien that can be taken now so that the patient wakes up in the final months of the Trump administration, once America has been made great again. That was a great piece by Charles Hurt back in 2016. We now know that TDS was so strong and so many Democrats in power that they came up with their own cure in 2020, something that the majority of Americans are feeling the pain of right now. Remember, it's important to discover which of your friends and family members, or even associates, suffer from TDS, because the sooner they get treatment, the sooner everyone else around them will feel better. So remember to stick around for another minute to check out the videos at the end of this one. I think you'll like them. So that's it. Thanks a lot. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you in the next one.